to introduce yourself in the chat or by person, that would be lovely. And then maybe just stop the recording for the moment.
Oh, sure. Let me see.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, here we go. All right. So, hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. I am Camille Licate. I am the founder of Kids for Positive Change, a multimedia environmental education platform to reach, teach, and inspire kids and adults to take positive action for animals, people, and the planet. All of my programs tie into climate change in one way or another, helping children and adults make that connection, usually between animals, different biodiversity, and climate change, or what we're going to see today through what I call climate change contributors. We all know that food waste, fast fashion, deforestation, fossil fuels, plastic pollution all tie into climate change in one way or another, and usually in multiple ways. So, one of my big dreams was not only doing in-person presentations to kids and adults, but to also produce a series for PBS that inspired viewers to take positive action for our planet. My dream came true of all years, 2021, when we were just emerging from the pandemic. I was approached by NETA, the National Education Telecommunications Association. They distribute content to PBS stations. I had applied to NETA way back in 2018, never heard from them, but in 2021, they really needed content. And they asked me if I had any programming that they could then distribute and make available to PBS stations, local and national stations. So I did have a few episodes of the Kids for Positive Change series under my belt. I had to piece some episodes together. And so my Kids for Positive Change team, which are comprised of students I have worked with over the years. We actually filmed in my backyard in March, the month of March. I live in Northeast Ohio, right on Lake Erie. So it was a very cold film shoot. Because of COVID, we had to maintain social distancing. It was quite a feat, but we managed to film the necessary content to put together season one of the Kids for Positive Change series, which then was distributed to Colorado PBS station. We were in New Hampshire, New York, we were in Massachusetts, and we were in Pennsylvania at WQLN PBS. So in season two, when it was time to shoot season two, I really wanted to up the production value. I was done with filming outside with the elements and airplanes and cars. And I was able, fortunately, through a lot of local foundations here in Ashtabula, Ohio, through their support, raise enough money to film at WQLN Studios in Erie, Pennsylvania, at the PBS station there. So season two is focused all on climate change contributors. Every episode takes the viewer through different climates, the biodiversity in those climates, fun facts, and then talks about that climate change contributor in depth and how it not only hurts the environment, take for instance food waste, that's the episode we're going to watch in just a moment, and how it not only hurts the environment and all the resources that went into growing and raising food that then is wasted, but that connection to climate change. I also, throughout season two, had wonderful expert guests. The expert guest you'll be hearing from in this episode we're pre-screening is from the Center for Biological Diversity. I had Amazon Frontlines. I had Poo Poo Paper Park in Thailand, all these different expert guests that really made each episode very meaningful and impactful for viewers. So I'm going to go ahead and share the video with you. The video is about 27 minutes. And then once it completes, I'll come back online and answer any questions about producing the series or what's next. We do have season three. We do have some of season three in the works. Some we already have produced episodes. So here we are. I'm going to share the video. Let me find it here. Just Give me one moment. You have to. Okay, give me 1 minute. I know that it's on my desk. Oh, maybe. Okay, hold 1 moment. I can see it on my desktop. It's just not coming up for some reason. There it is. Let me see. Let me do a little search here to try to get it up for you. There it is. Okay. Open. All right. So if you could just drop in the chat once I hit play, if you can hear and see the episode, it's just going to first take you through our sponsors. So just let me know.
Kids for Positive Change is brought to you in part by Robert S. Morrison Foundation.
All right. Thanks,
The
Erica.
Ashtabula Foundation.
All right.
The Kendall Foundation.
Thank
Huffman Mayer
you.
Paulo
I'll
Wealth
save it.
Management
All
Group
right, I'm gonna
of
be
Wells
quiet.
Fargo Advisors. A friend of Kids for Positive Change. After School Discovery. And viewers like you. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Camille with Kids for Positive Change, and this is Bree the Rescue Rooster. Join Bree, me, and the Kids for Positive Change team to take positive action to curb climate change. Are you ready, Bree? Are you ready? Let's meet the team.
Hi, I'm Sadie. Giselle. Michelle. Jenna.
Jalen.
Emma.
Tyree.
Hi, I'm Clara.
Chance.
Malia.
Quinn.
We are Kids for Positive Change.
We're the Kids for Positive Change, working together so we can arrange bright ideas and actions with help from our Marie to heal our planet, 'cause we're one family. Our goal is finding solutions we need to save our planet. Let's start with the seed that grows into actions to help light the way. Kids for Positive Change, come join us today.
Today, we're learning about climate change, food waste, fertilizer, and how we can take positive action. Climate change is a pretty hot topic, literally. Let me explain. First, let's talk about climate. Climate is not the same as weather. Weather changes from day to day. Some days it's sunny, raining, snowing, or windy. Climate is the pattern of weather conditions over a large area over a long period of time, like 30 years or more. Different places on Earth have different climates. There are dry climates, which get little rain, temperate climates that are warm with mild to cold winters, tropical climates that are warm, humid, and wet, polar climates with super cold winters and short, cool summers. The animals, plants, and people living in these places rely on steady climates to survive and thrive.
But climates are changing because the Earth's temperature is rising.
And the Earth's temperature is rising because of greenhouse gases, otherwise known as
Global warming. Global warming is caused by too much carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide in the Earth's atmosphere. These are naturally occurring greenhouse gases, but we've got way too much in the Earth's atmosphere right now because of human activities.
Did you know there are many climate change contributors?
Like what? Burning fossil fuels, coal, oil, and gas used to power car, buses, trains, and planes and used to generate electricity.
Deforestation due to cattle ranching, palm oil plantations, mining, and logging.
Fast fashion.
Plastic production and pollution. And remember, plastics contain oil, a fossil fuel. Industrial agriculture, growing crops using toxic pesticides and fertilizers.
Clearing too much land to grow crops and raise animals for food.
Food waste.
Tyree, it's gonna be okay.
But there are so many climate change contributors.
I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Let's push pause. There are many climate change contributors that are causing global warming, which is causing climate change. But we don't have to tackle all of them today. It's gonna be okay. Let's focus on
Food waste.
What does food waste have to do with climate change?
It's a double whammy.
Whammy number 1. From farm to table food production puts a lot of carbon dioxide in Earth's atmosphere. Whammy number 2. When food waste breaks down in landfills, it emits methane, yet another greenhouse gas causing climate change.
In the United States, 80 billion pounds of food is wasted each year.
That's 30 to 40% of all food.
Take the state of California and add all the food wasted each year, and you could fill 3/4 of the state with food waste.
Choose the correct answer. Where is the most food wasted? A, at home. B, grocery stores. C, restaurants. D, farms. A, at home. Most food is wasted at home because it spoils due to overbuying or simply isn't eaten. Some people are confused by food expiration date labels and trash perfectly good food. The runner-up, restaurants. Food is wasted at restaurants due to serving huge portions and tossing leftovers.
Grocery stores overstock food on their shelves and it spoils.
Customers refuse to buy food that may be bruised or misshapen.
Produce that doesn't look perfect.
This is so sad, considering 1 in 8 Americans struggle to put food on the table. Worldwide, over 2,000 billion pounds of food is wasted. According to the World Food Program, all the food produced but never eaten would be sufficient to feed 2 billion people. That's more than twice the number of undernourished people across the globe.
There's no better place to tell you more about food waste than grasslands. Let's journey to this temperate and tropical climate to learn more. Are you ready, team?
Ready.
Are you ready? Let's go. Grasslands throughout the world are heavily relied upon by humans for agriculture, growing crops and raising animals for food.
Grasslands are also critical to the health of our planet.
Grasslands throughout the world absorb greenhouse gases in Earth's atmosphere.
They are said to be one of nature's climate solutions. They also support a wide variety of wildlife.
Whoa! In Africa, animals like giraffes and African wild dogs live in grasslands called savannas.
Pangolins also live in grasslands.
In North America, grasslands are also called prairies, which are home to prairie dogs, ladybugs, monarch butterflies, black-footed ferrets, and greater prairie chickens.
Did someone say chicken? It's time for Quiz Quest with Chance, who's on a quest for knowledge.
True or false? The black-footed ferret is not endangered. False. The black-footed ferret is one of the most endangered animals in North America. Why? Loss of habitat and their main food source, prairie dogs. True or false? Pangolins use their long sticky tongues to eat ants and termites. Their tongues are sometimes as long as their body, up to 28 inches in length. True.
Pangolins are super cool and important. One pangolin can eat approximately 70 million insects each year. While feasting, pangolins can close their nostrils and ears to keep out insects. Eating all those insects keeps the ecosystem in balance.
Whoa, there are a lot of cool animals in grasslands.
Yep. And they rely on healthy grasslands to survive and thrive because every animal and plant is interconnected and has a role to play in keeping the ecosystem balanced. When grasslands are healthy, we're healthy too.
But climate change is impacting temperature and rainfall patterns in grasslands. Grasslands are becoming too hot and dry, and there's not enough rainfall. This can lead to fires, invasive species, and when there isn't enough rain, drought. And droughts threaten plant and animal life and humans too.
Animals and plants living in grasslands are losing their habitats, water, and food sources. Some are vulnerable, endangered, or critically endangered, and at risk of becoming extinct.
As this happens, they can't play their important roles keeping the ecosystem balanced. This leads to something called a cascading effect. When one thing goes down, it starts a chain reaction.
Not good. It's a triple whammy.
Whammy number 1. Grasslands impacted by climate change can't absorb carbon from Earth's atmosphere and store it in plant roots and soil. In North America, prairie soil that once acted as a carbon sink can't. Whammy number 2. The vast majority of the world's grasslands have been converted to farmland to grow and raise food for human consumption. Whammy number 3. When it comes to food waste, when we waste food, we're not only wasting the food on our plate, but all of the resources that went into growing or raising that food, including water, seeds, soil, fertilizer, human labor, packaging, transporting, and the clearing of grasslands to raise or grow the food. Let's ask an expert.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Mollador. I work at the Center for Biological Diversity. This is an organization focused on protecting the environment, especially wildlife and wild places. I'm the senior food campaigner. I work on issues like the way farming affects wildlife and nature. And I try to protect the earth by making it easier for people to have food that is better for the planet, whether it's in the grocery store, at school, or a zoo, or a hospital. Most places you go serve some kind of food. And it's important that that food is earth-friendly and sustainable. So one of the things that we know is that all around the world, the way that we farm and grow food has a really big effect on climate change and how much space is left on the planet for wild animals. So first, in the United States, we eat more meat than almost every other country. Meat and dairy and seafood produce the most greenhouse gases of all the foods that we can eat. And we eat a lot of those foods, way too much for our health and for the health of the planet. Second, not only does all of this overconsumption of animal products make climate change worse, it also makes it really hard to be a wild animal. And that's because raising animals for food takes way more land and water and natural resources than other foods. And the more meat we grow, the less land and water is left for wildlife. So often wild animals like bears and wolves and foxes and coyotes, birds and snakes and frogs and butterflies, they're killed if people feel like they get in the way of farming. And even though there are ways that we can grow food without killing wildlife. Third, guess what? In the United States, we waste up to 40% of the food we grow. That's almost half of all those resources like land and water and wildlife and nature it took to grow the food in the first place. So that's why the worst food to waste is meat and dairy and seafood. So one thing I wish more people understood is that of all the foods we eat, it's not just affecting like pigs and sheep and cows and chickens, but also grasshoppers and bees, bison, and all the little critters and creatures that just want to live their lives in nature.
This is a big problem.
It sure is.
But together, we can find solutions and take positive action.
We know small steps and bright ideas lead to big results.
Are you ready to take positive action?
Yeah!
Our Kids for Positive Change team meet and share their bright ideas to stop food waste and curb climate change.
Be Earth advocates. To advocate means standing up and speaking out about a cause you believe in and asking others to join you. We can write letters and sign petitions to decision makers, asking them to support sustainable farming practices to protect grasslands.
We can waste less food, especially meat and dairy, and do our best to eat less meat and dairy and more plant-based foods. We can also ask our local decision makers in our county or city to start a compost program.
As far as food waste goes, we can always ask grocery stores to not overstock their shelves and ask that excess food is donated to people suffering from food insecurity.
We can also understand that food that doesn't always look perfect, but usually is perfectly good to eat.
You are our future, and your voices are the most important to listen to right now. Some of the most effective advocates for climate change and the environment and wildlife are young people. Here's what we need. We need young people to speak up with courage and compassion and kindness. People who learn about the importance of nature and speak up for wildlife. So some of the things you can do is you can speak up at your school. You can ask them to build school gardens or add a salad bar or more plant-based foods to your cafeteria menu. You can start at home. You could grow vegetables and fruits in your yard or even in your balcony. And you can try a few plant-based meals a week, just to start. You can do your class reports on wildlife and teach your peers about how wildlife and climate change and water are all affected by farming and food waste. You could become a teacher and make sure young people get good educations. Or you could study the environment or climate and become a biologist or ecologist, someone who studies animals. You can even become a politician who makes better rules that better protect the environment. Or you can be a writer and be a great storyteller who writes about wildlife. Of course, you can also always join an advocacy group like me and be an activist. You can help other people protect the planet too. But the most important thing to remember is that every step you take towards the kind of planet you want to live on is a good step forward.
We have the power to change climate change by the choices we make every day.
Helpful Habits with Jenna and Jalen.
A habit is a repeated behavior, something we do over and over again every day. We can form helpful habits to help the planet.
We can take a little. Smaller portions equal less food waste. Still hungry? Go back for seconds.
We can eat everything on our plate. If we can't finish, we can save leftovers for later.
Tyree's Tips with Emma and Tyree.
Repurpose food. What can you do with brown bananas? Make a smoothie, banana bread, or banana pancakes. How about an orange rind? Use it to sop up greasy countertops. And an orange half? Make an eco-friendly bird feeder.
Room for Change with Clara and Chance.
You can take positive action for the planet in every room in your home.
Before heading to the store, take inventory. Look in the fridge and pantry to see what food you have, so you only buy what you need.
And don't shop hungry. This leads to overbuying.
Start to compost in your kitchen or your backyard. Composting is a great way to recycle food waste.
What items can we compost?
Tea bags, eggshells, apple cores, banana peels, coffee grounds, paper, bread, and popcorn.
Use your compost in your garden or flower bed.
Hey Chance, did you know sustainable farming is looking up? Vertical farming allows farmers to grow way more food using way less land. Way cool. Hey Clara, what do apple peels and shoes have in common? Apple leather shoes.
Apple leather is made from apple peels from the apple juice industry. Repurposing apple peels keeps them from breaking down and producing methane that contributes to climate change. Now that's food for thought.
Way cool. Hey Malia, did you know food waste can be turned into fuel?
Yep, this type of fuel is called biofuel.
Way cool.
Food waste isn't the only climate change contributor. That's a problem.
Fertilizer used to grow crops bigger and faster is a big climate change contributor too. Let's focus on fertilizer.
What does fertilizer have to do with climate change?
Fertilizers are used on crops to help them grow. They're added to the soil to provide crops with nutrients. But overuse of fertilizers results in nitrous oxide emissions. Nitrous oxide is another greenhouse gas heating up Earth's atmosphere and causing climate change. Pound for pound, nitrous oxide warms the planet 300 times as much as carbon dioxide. Fertilizers also degrade the soil, so it has less and less nutrients. According to soil scientists, we are running out of nutrient-rich soil. Less nutrient-rich soil, less nutritious food. Also, fertilizer can dump extra nutrients into the water system, which might create wildlife-killing algae blooms in lakes and the ocean. This is called eutrophication.
This is a big problem.
It sure is.
But together, we can find solutions and take positive action.
We know with small steps and bright ideas can lead to big results.
Are you ready to take positive action? Yeah! What can we do to take positive action?
We can!
Advocate for organic farming without harmful fertilizers. We can ask decision makers to help farmers adopt sustainable practices like no-till and cover cropping, farming, and using organic fertilizers, all of which are good for soil, plants, and planet.
Use our dollars to buy organic fruits and vegetables and try to buy from local farmers markets.
Make the connection with Quinn and Giselle.
Today, we're talking about food waste, fertilizer, and climate change.
What's the connection?
We know food waste and fertilizer are climate change contributors.
Fertilizer also depletes the soil from important nutrients.
Exactly, but food waste turned into compost can add nutrients to soil.
And when we compost food waste, we are cutting down on carbon emissions and helping to curb climate change.
Totally. Now that we've made the connection, let's pass it on.
Pass on everything you've learned today. One of the most powerful things you can do is share your knowledge with friends and family. Take positive action together.
Make an informative flyer to share your knowledge.
Draw a picture to share your knowledge.
Make a video to share your knowledge.
Write an article for your local newspaper to share your knowledge.
Sadie's Solutions with Sadie.
We've just told you about many solutions. Let's add them to your Take Action jar. Compost food waste. Take a little. Eat leftovers. And repurpose food. Every day, choose one piece of paper and take action.
Bree, choose something from the Take Action jar. Oh, that down there? Okay, let's see. Make a kitchen compost container. Join us.
What you'll need: container. We suggest upcycling an empty 2-liter juice or soda bottle. Dirt. Scraps of paper. Leaves and grass clippings. Fruit and vegetable peelings. Spray bottle with water. Push pin. Large spoon. Scissors. Tray or plate. Step 1. Have a grown-up cut off the top of the bottle and using the push pin, poke holes in the bottom of the bottle. Step 2. Place the bottle on a plate or tray. Step 3. Add dirt, scrap paper, and old leaves. Step 4. Use the spray bottle with the water to wet this layer. Step 5. Add fruit and veggie peelings, eggshells, coffee grounds. Step 6. Place the container in a spot with some sunlight. Step 7. Each day, spray the mixture with water and stir. Step 8. Place a rag or towel over the container. Step 9. In time, you'll have compost. Step 10. Take the compost outside and place it in a garden or flower bed.
Motivational message with Malia.
There's no time to waste. The planet needs us now. You can make a positive difference. Believe in yourself and take action.
Bree, the Kids for Positive Change team rocks. Or in chicken speak, walks. But they're not alone. Did you know there are kids across the globe taking positive action for the planet? Let's meet one of them now. I'm here with Gracie, an amazing Kids for Positive Change. Hi Gracie, how are you doing today? Awesome, I'm so happy you're here. And I was saying to you earlier, look, your colors, 4 and your beautiful floral top, it's the same yellow. Did you plan that? No? Wow, I'm impressed. We coordinate. So as a Kid for Positive Change, Gracie, what do you think we can do to take positive action?
We can throw our trash away, recycle, or compost.
Yes. Oh, tell me about composting.
That when you,
Is it when you take some food like eggshells or vegetable peelings and you put them outside so they can biodegrade, right? And do you know what that does to the soil?
it gets more
nutrients. Yeah, it gets more of the nutrients, right? Exactly. We've been talking in this episode about the importance of composting because food waste is a big problem. What do you know about food waste?
Is that people don't.
Do they not eat everything on their plate? Yeah. What about you? Do you eat everything on your plate? Most of the time. That's awesome. I love that. But occasionally, because it happens to me too, right? Our stomach is too small for what we thought, and we have all this food on our plate. And that's where, if those foods are like fruits and vegetables and like grains, we can put them in the compost pile, right? So we're not wasting it. We're giving them back to the earth, back to the soil. Awesome. Gracie, I am so happy you were here today to be our extraordinary Kid for Positive Change youth change maker. Give me a high five. Whoa, what an amazing youth change maker. You know what? You are a change maker too. Wherever you go the distance for the planet, because
local action gets global traction.
We can go the distance for the planet by saving and protecting nature and natural resources in our local communities. When we
use eco-friendly weed killer made from salt and light vinegar, which doesn't harm bees and butterflies.
Plant flowers for pollinators.
Pick up our dog's poop.
Ew.
We are taking positive action that makes a difference locally and globally.
You might not live near grasslands, but always remember,
what we do here matters there.
Because climate change is impacting everything and everyone.
And when we take positive action to curb climate change, we're taking positive action for all animals, humans, and the planet, because we're all connected.
If we can take positive action, so can you!
Whoa, you all rock! Until next time, share your knowledge and keep taking positive action for a cooler climate and a brighter future. See you later. Bye.
We're the kids for positive change, working together so we can arrange bright ideas and actions with help from our heartbeat to heal our planet, 'cause we're one family. Our goal is finding solutions we need to save our planet. Let's start with the seed that grows into actions to help light the way. Kids for positive change, come join us today.
All right. Okay, so that was an episode. Thank you, everyone, from season 2 of the Kids for Positive Change series. The series is available to watch on my YouTube channel. You can watch we had 6 episodes in season 2. Every episode focused on a climate change contributor with different expert guests. My YouTube channel is Kids for Positive Change. We also have some excerpts from season 3, which we focus on biodiversity and different animals and how they're connected to climate change as well, with a little bit of a different twist. And every child that you saw in this episode and throughout the series are part of my team. Like I said, these are not actors. They are kids that I have taught throughout the years that are super passionate about protecting the environment. And through so much dedication and learning on the job, on set, to me, they did a beautiful job spreading those messages. So at this time, does anybody have any questions about the series, producing the series? If maybe you're doing something similar in your communities, you can either unmute yourself or drop any questions in the chat.
Well, I'm always tempted to talk.
Sure. Hi, Dave. How you doing? Hi.
I'm doing quite well. Our program works with elementary school kids.
Yeah, great.
So we don't mention climate change, global warming, or sea level rise. We don't talk about what might happen if we don't do everything right. We talk about what will happen when we do everything right. And so we talk about all the things you talk about, but we don't put the negative side on it before we give them the positive. We just give them the positive.
I love that.
It starts with a book. And the book, I'm not in the book business. I'm in the culture change business. Okay.
Okay.
The book is called The Green Actioneers Family Action Guide.
Oh,
And I'll send you a copy.
I love that.
Yeah, it's 250 pages, and it's got 95 actions that elementary school kids can take in their homes in order to save energy, save water, save money, and create a clean, green future for everybody without mentioning the downside,
Okay.
because they're elementary kids.
Right.
Now, the reason I'm doing that is because I did something similar before. It's going to take a moment or two to get through this. I did a program called Juggling for Success in 2,000 schools in 46 states and 12 countries.
Oh my gosh.
Taught the world to juggle. I spent 30 years on the road traveling doing that. It
You were
worked really well.
You were juggling.
Well, what I did was I invented a way of teaching juggling that slowed it down so even a kindergartner could do it. Uh, all the teachers learn, all the parents learn, all the kids learn, and it's the easiest thing in the world.
Okay.
Now, once I had done that for 30 years, I got trained by Al Gore in January 2007. And so I put together a program very much like Juggling for Success, but it's called Climate Change is Elementary. And
Nice.
I started going to elementary schools with the Climate Change is Elementary program. I live in Florida. So I went to schools where this is acceptable. I went to Massachusetts, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Maryland, and Colorado. I came home to Florida and said, I want to do my program in Florida. And they said, no way, you're not going to do a climate change program in my elementary school. We don't believe in climate change. So that's when I said, okay, somebody has got to handle the 50% of the country that lives in school districts where you're not allowed to talk about this. And that's what I'm doing. So that's why we're doing Green Actioneers. And it can work in K5, K6, and K8. It could even work in K12. And the reason is because on every 2-page spread, we have English and Spanish. We've got
Nice.
games and puzzles. We've got a coloring book feature, and we've got a quote from somebody infamous or famous, or this is from Shuji Nakamura, who invented the LED. And so your elementary, middle, and high school kids can use this in order to help their parents understand what it is that we're doing, without any of the buzzwords that cause people to go, get that out of my school.
Right.
So that's what I'm doing. And we have a school that's about to be finished, where we've prototyped this. It's the Montessori Academy of Celebration, the MAC. And so the MAC is very proud to be the first school. Up until now, I've gone to a bunch of schools where they've said, don't tell anybody that we did this, no video, no photos.
Yeah.
Don't write a report on us. What the MAC decided they wanted to be the leaders. So last week I was at the National Montessori Schools Convention, and I got 90 Montessori schools around the country who came to my table who said they're interested. So my goal is to get on the road and go to as many of those schools as I can next year and get them started. And I want to throw a pebble in the pond in each part of the country. And then that school will become the focus for that part of the country. So that's what I'm up to. And I figured you'd like to know about that.
Thank you. I would definitely love a copy of the book. And in the chat, we have an attendee asking how can we get a copy?
Yeah, sure. Well, normally they're $20, but I'm giving them away to people who can help us here because I've given away hundreds of books because I want people to really get started on this. And for me, this is a passion project.
Yeah.
This is not a way to make money.
Right.
My wife will promise you that we've never made any money on it, but we would like to get it to the point where it does become supportive. Now, here's how it could be supportive. If you open this book to almost any page, you find that there's a possibility on that page to put a QR code for a company, like a company that makes light bulbs, or a company that makes EVs, or a company that creates solar panels, or whatever. And they put their QR code in the book. We don't have this yet, but that's what I'm going to start working on. And then when the school uses that QR code and families buy insulation for their attic, then the school gets a kickback. And so it could really be a huge gift to the schools. And you know, that's the way I look at it, as a potential fundraiser for schools.
Wonderful. So how do we get a copy, Dave?
Well, you're going to put your address, your snail mail address in there. I'll email you a digital copy, no problem. I've emailed
Fantastic. All right, so
lots
we
of
can put
digital
one.
copies.
Oh, thank you. So that's wonderful to know that you're reaching the schools, especially the schools like you pointed out that they won't allow climate change education. Great. So to everyone, if you want a digital copy of Dave's amazing book that he just shared with us, you can put your email. I guess David, they can put their email in the chat and either we can send it. How do you want to do that?
Yeah. I think, yeah, the best thing I can share, well, Dave can send out his own, but if you want to contact me, I can be the intermediary as well. So I just put my email into the chat. Yeah, Sabi is actually in Kenya.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to. I think the digital copy is going to work better than snail mailing it to Kenya, and I'm not sure where Ariane is, but anyway, but yeah, the digital copies certainly be great ways to share.
Okay, well, I'll send to everybody who puts their email address in there. I have people who say they're gonna promote this program around the world.
Great, that's
I've
amazing.
got a fella in Bangladesh who's going to rewrite the book to be Bengali focused, and he's going to put in a couple of languages, one of which will be English. But thank you, AI, we can now translate the book into every language almost instantly. So
That's
it will
awesome.
soon be, it's in English and Spanish now. And I had to pay a guy a lot of money to translate it. And if I just waited a couple of years, I could have done it electronically. But
it's
it's in
ready to
English
go.
and Spanish, and I'd like it to be in English and everything. And let's get this out there. Now, the elementary kids can feed into what you're doing. Here in Florida, there's a program called CLEO, and CLEO is focused on on middle and high school, and they had shunned what I'm doing up until now, but all of a sudden they went, "Oh my God, you're going to provide feedstock for us elementary school kids who are hip to this thing." And I go, "Yeah, right." They go, "Well, okay, maybe we'll work with you now." Up until now, they've been going, "Well, you're not negative enough. You got to give them, you got to tell them what the problem is." And I go, "No, they don't have to know what the problem is. They're elementary school kids. They have
Right.
to know what the
Wonderful.
solution is."
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that, Dave. That's so encouraging. Thank you. And to everyone as well, I'm going to drop this Google folder in the chat. In that folder, when you click on it, there is a resource guide. On the first page, there are 2 QR codes. The first QR code will lead you to the Kids for Positive Change YouTube channel, where all of the episodes from seasons 1, 2, and the episodes that I produced for season 3, you can access those. And then Sabi from Nigeria, you mentioned as a climate change educator what you can do. Also on that first page of the research document, there's a QR code to my video module course. So this is free of charge. All you need to do is sign up, scan the QR code, and you can go ahead and sign up. Every full-length episode from season 2 with all the climate change contributors in the video module course, I've taken segments of every episode. So the videos are anywhere from 2 to 4 to 5 minutes in length. So they're easily digestible for your students. You could do an entire module in its entirety, or you can skip around. but I made it so you can encourage your students to take positive action. Included in that video module course are links to actual digital resources that you can use. Your students can do research projects. From those research projects, they can develop take action projects. So that is all gifted to you. And it's all in that resource Google Doc. So if you're interested in that, just save that link to your computer and you can go ahead and access that anytime.
Yeah,
All
there are
right.
3 little dots at the top of the screen, if people don't know that. There are 3 little dots at the top of the chat, and you touch those 3 little dots, and it'll ask you if you want to save the chat.
Oh, thanks, David. You are just Dave, you're a wealth of information. Thank you.
I'm old.
That's awesome.
But you know what I am not averse to the idea of doing videos of what we're doing and creating an elementary school component of what it is that you're doing. So we should talk.
Okay, fantastic. I just popped my email in the chat. I gave you my personal Gmail account. To anyone else that would like to reach out to me, please go ahead and use that. And yeah, Dave, shoot me an email. Let's definitely talk about a potential collaboration.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So that's our time, everyone. Thank you so much for attending the screening. As I reiterated, I'm super excited to be part of this and to support you any way I can. My email again is in the chat, so please go ahead and email me with any questions, comments. And again, those KPC resources, I will be adding to that shared Google folder. But again, that first research page, you have access to all of the episodes from our seasons on PBS and also that video module course for your classrooms. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Camille.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say with everybody that Camille is recording this, and we will email you the recording so that you can get that, as well as the link to Camille's Google Drive. I want to especially give a shout out to Ariane, who is joining us from Pakistan, where I think it's about 4 in the morning or something like that.
Okay.
And then let you know that we are having more webinars. One that will be of particular interest to all of you is next Monday at 4 Eastern time, and then repeated on Tuesday at 9 Eastern time, which will be a lot better for you, Ariane, because Tuesday will be 7 p.m. for you Tuesday night. We're going to have a group called the Young Voices for the Planet, that is part of the Children's Environmental Literacy Foundation. And Lynn Cherry is going to be showing some films of kids similar to the Kids for Positive Change, who are doing great things around the world, teaching us older people about all the wonderful ways the kids can lead us. So I will email that to you as well, the links to join on either Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern or Tuesday at 9 a.m. Eastern. And I want to thank Camille on behalf of the Worldwide Climate and Justice Education Month for all of your great participation. And Ariane, I know you've just stayed up late. Let you know we're actually going to do another one, especially at a good time, better time for you middle schoolers in Pakistan. That'll be on April 14th at 9 a.m. Eastern time, 7 p.m. Pakistan time.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do an episode from season 3.
Yeah, we'll try to spread it out a little bit.
Yeah. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much again, David. Thank you so much for the opportunity to present throughout this wonderful month. It's just been such an honor. And as I always say, in the words of the late Dr. Jane Goodall, as she always said, together we can, together we will, and together we must change the world. So thank you so much, everyone. Have a great night, morning, afternoon, wherever you are. Dave, please connect with me. I'm excited to talk to you more. Thanks, everyone.
Yes, you should go ahead and stop the recording. And we just have somebody else who I think got confused with the time zone. So